So, Sierra Leone.
11 years of civil war killed at least 50,000 people and forced 500,000 from their homes.
Diamonds, right?
Rebel fighters enslaved locals to dig for so-called blood diamonds.
Natural disasters.
We've just been to the site where the mudslide happened on Monday.
The number of the missing is still unknown.
A crowd of people had gathered near a fuel tanker that had been involved in a collision. A bus full of people nearby was completely burned.
Health crisis.
Go to the deadly Ebola outbreak.
The world is losing the fight against Ebola.
Rape and gender-based violence.
5-year-old Khadija Soko was raped and killed in Sierra Leone in June.
On this note, ladies and gentlemen, I therefore declare rape and sexual violence as national emergency.
What if I told you there is a different Sierra Leone than what the media has led us to believe? This is Sierra Leone.
So we have arrived into Kamakwie, and first impressions of the town is that it is obviously a much bigger town, smaller than a Kenema or even smaller than a McKinney, but yet a bigger town that is kind of spread out all throughout the hillsides and very beautiful. The people seem very vibrant, and the nice thing is that there is service, so that over the next couple days I will be able to get a lot of work done and be able to catch up on some things and make some videos to keep people engaged online. But we are currently walking with the police escort into the town and being brought probably to where we will be staying. And I'm sure we have a bunch of activities planned for the afternoon. But just grateful to be in Kamakwie and what feels like a 3/4 mark, 75% of the way done for this walk. And I'm excited that we will continue on in the next couple days and head for Port Loko. So we just met with the Paramount Chief and other community leaders here in Kamakwie, and the Paramount Chief made a point to welcome me and express his gratitude for me being here. And the entire town of Kamakwie, to his understanding, is a population of 28,000 and the entire district is about 80,000 plus. And he was saying how he hopes that in the future this will not be my only time in Kamakwie and that I come back, whether it be just personal visits or whether it be with this project. And I think it goes to show as another testament to the love and gratitude that is shown all throughout the country to me as a visitor coming from a foreign country and coming from America. The people of Sierra Leone always welcome me with open arms and are a people that very much accept and love and are excited by visitors from different places. And so I think, again, this is a place that really anyone could visit and anyone could be welcomed in and really loved and supported in whatever they do here. And so now we are heading to rest for a little bit, have some food, and have a community gathering later on this evening. So we are here at the house where we are staying tonight, and I hung out here for about 3 or 4 hours. I got caught up on making some content for my Instagram, and now we are heading into town to get some dinner. We had a good meeting as a team. I think a couple of us were feeling a bit frustrated about certain aspects of the walk thus far, and it just showed that even when people are upset or we're having conflict as a team, that it is something that we can overcome and have resolved, and it always ends in laughter and smiles, and we just know that we are friends ultimately until the end, even after this experience. So I'm just grateful that we had that conversation and everything is cleared up amongst us as a team so that we can continue on the next week or two and finish this walk. But with that being said, I'm getting on the motorbike with Kinitoma. Oh! I almost tipped the motorbike. Oh! So I'm gonna end the video because I want to get on the motorbike and be safe. Good morning. It is day 26 of the 520-mile walk. Today we are in Kamakwie and we are about 360 miles into this walk. Today we will just be spending the entire day here in Kamakwie, and in just a little bit the team and I will be heading out to one of the schools to be there to meet some of the school children and talk about the work we are doing, and then we will get some breakfast and have some interviews with both African Youth Voice, which is a major news outlet here, as well as at some point have a meeting with BBC Africa, which will be an incredible experience. Then this afternoon we will go to the district council and meet with different stakeholders, and then into the evening we will have the community ceremony and hopefully wash the feet of the community and have a conversation about the work we are doing and why we are doing it and the importance behind it. So with that being said, I'm very excited to spend the afternoon here in Kamakwie. One of the men that we are connected with to here, Yusuf, I've had some good conversations with him last night, and Yusuf grew up here many years ago, and he has talked about how when he grew up here, the roads were all paved, there were street lights, there was beautiful big houses, and everything has changed since the war. After the war, the streets were unrepaired, houses were burned down, and this idea of losing identity has began to take place here for the last 10 to 20 to 25 years. And what he means by that is there's been a lot of environmental impact that has been happening in the community of Kamakwie. A lot of building, a lot of destruction of nature, a lot of destruction of the rivers and all the water spots. And when we were driving yesterday, he pointed out a spot that he used to love to go fishing, but he said no one goes there anymore because it's absolutely polluted, and how that the true culture and tradition of the Limba people who live here in Kamakwie is dissipating, and no one knows it and no one really seems to care to want to get that back. And so he is in a struggle right now, saying that he is in an extreme upward battle to try and reinvoke the indigenous spirit, the indigenous culture, and the indigenous tradition that used to live within this community. And it's interesting hearing those things and thinking about what the future of a community like this and what the future of Sierra Leone might look like with this common loss of identity happening all over the place. So I'm looking forward to my conversations with him today because he is regarded as one of the biggest storytellers in all of Sierra Leone and does that for a living up in the UK. And so just hearing him talk and his perspective and his experiences growing up here in Sierra Leone are truly incredible stories and experiences to hear. So I'm looking forward to reconnecting with him and all the things that we have lined up to do as a team today. So we just finished up our meeting at the school, and now we are getting some breakfast. The meeting went extremely well, and it was awesome to speak to the students. And one of the boys, after we spoke, brought up the question of the way the girls dress and the way that might invoke men to cause harm to them. And Hindalo responded very well by expressing that when we talk about young, small Pekin, small children in this country, 6-year-old, 8-year-old, 4-year-old, all these small children, that the way that those children dress has absolutely nothing to do with them being abused and with them being raped, and that the society as a whole has a sickness that has allowed for these actions to take place. And all the students, especially the boys, agreed with that. So it was awesome again to speak to them, to hear from them and the own issues that they face as young people in this country, and just reiterating how much power they have in, you know, pushing this country forward into the future. So with that being said, we're gonna find some rice and get some food in our bellies. Good afternoon, we are here at the District Council. Matu, Detima, Mama, Bak, they're all super excited.
Good money.
Yeah, they just can't hold back on their excitement. Kenny Toma looks like he's about to go to court. Abdul ceases to be excited about anything these days. But with that being said, we are going to meet with some key stakeholders in this community and share with them what we are doing, and ultimately get a better understanding of the issues that are faced here in the community of Kamakwie and how we can best aid and support them in the projects they are doing and how our project can coincide with that. So we are just waiting on Hindalo, and then we will go in and have a meeting for about an hour or so, and then after that we will continue on with our afternoon. Good evening. Wow, so much has happened this afternoon. We had the meeting at the District Council, and what started out as kind of a slow meeting and the energy was really low and a lot of people were falling asleep, to then being invited up to speak about the 520-mile walk for a child and rape culture in Sierra Leone, to them washing the feet of the women, to then having AYV, which is African Youth Voice Network, which is one of the bigger news networks in all of Sierra Leone, come and film us. It was an incredible experience, and you could truly today feel the emotion in that room, the emotion from the men in the community, the emotion from the women. Normally, Hindalo and I are the ones that wash the feet, but today the men from that community asked us, these are our women, this is our community, we have done wrong, we want to stand up and we want to wash their feet. And I was blown away. I was like, this is absolutely incredible. Some of the women even broke down because they are so emotional. Powerful, powerful, powerful stuff that I can't even begin to really put into words to convey to you. And hopefully some of the images and footage that I captured of those moments can convey a little bit of that story to you. A couple other cool things happen. AYV, which is the news network that was filming us, is sending that footage and the clip that they create over to BBC Africa, which is stationed in Nairobi, Kenya, and that will be aired sometime next week during this 16 days of activism, which is a global thing going on and a very big thing here in Sierra Leone that coincides right with the walk we are doing. And so today you could almost feel this like shift of momentum happening, that after this video gets out, that when it's produced by AYV and gets to BBC, which as many of us know, BBC is a huge news network in the entire world, that the possibility that this thing gets really big by the time we get to Freetown is pretty likely. And that is extremely exciting, that this project and, you know, the message that we are trying to push, saying no to rape and saying no to violence against women, is on the rise and it's growing. And we are going to have a great celebration in Freetown and, you know, have a lot of people join us and hear from different people who are survivors and different people who are leaders in the community. So I am simply just excited. Aside from all that fun excitement, we had to make some decisions as a team. We are finishing the walk on December 10th. That is when we have agreed with our partners that we would be in Freetown. We have 160 miles left. If you take 160, divide by the days we have left, which is 14, that brings us right about to 12 miles a day. But as I'm sure you have seen to this point in the stories, our truck is broke, and our truck is, man, I don't know, 150, 200 miles away. And so we have made the decision to stay here in Kamakwie another day so everyone, the boys, can go back to get the truck. We have contacted UN Women who have good vehicles to try and get the truck out of there for us. But everything is uncertain. We have no idea what's going to happen, and we really have to use tomorrow and even possibly another day to try to get all of our stuff from the other side of the country all the way over here to Kamakwie so that we can have it with us by the time we get to Freetown. So I'm ultimately not sure what the next couple days are going to look like, other than I know tomorrow's going to kind of just be hanging out here in Kamakwie. Maybe I can find a nice place to hike. Otherwise, I do have a book I can read and continue catching up on posting content to my Instagram. But Hindalo and I are about to head out to a radio interview, which will be good because the community here, from what I've heard, is big into listening to the radio. So that will be a very good way for us to continue pushing the work that we are doing and why we are here in Kamakwie. But with that being said, I will check back in either later tonight or I will check back in sometime tomorrow when I know more about how we will continue on to finish the 520-mile walk across Sierra Leone. Good morning or afternoon, not really sure at this point, but so far this morning we have not done a whole lot. We went into town to have some breakfast, and yesterday Hindalo decided that he was going to buy a goat for the team for us to have for dinner tonight, just because energy levels have been down a little bit the last couple days, and eating a goat is a very traditionary thing here as a celebration, so it would raise our spirits. With that being said, today was my first ever experience watching a goat be prepared. And for obvious reasons, I did not record any of it. I just, sat and watched the entire process be done. And yes, it was extremely gruesome. It was, tough for me to watch at times, but it got me thinking just about where I've come from in the world and the way that I consume meat and the way meat is ultimately grown and prepared inside the US, which is where I currently live. And although, yes, it was a very gruesome scene that I saw this afternoon, it seemed a lot more humane than probably a lot of the things that I consume in the US, knowing that factory farms are such a thing. Even in the state that I live, you can drive up and down the highways and you can see these farms and these giant barns set on the side of the highway there, just full of chickens, full of turkeys, full of cows, just all crammed in there, which is no way to live. And ultimately, all the food I am eating here, especially the meat, I feel a lot of gratitude because when we eat chicken at night, those chickens have free range over the entire village that they live in for their entire life up until the day it is that they get prepared. And same with the goats. The goats oftentimes have free range, the sheep. So it's a very interesting experience, but one that, although it was tough at first for me to watch through conversation with Hindalo, I've gained a lot of gratitude out of the experience just for the way that the practices are done here, and thinking back to the traditional history of the African continent and, you know, hunting and gathering and those kinds of things. So I just wanted to hop on and kind of explain what was going on this morning and my thoughts around, you know, what is going to happen this evening and what I've already seen so far today. But some of the boys have already left to go to McKinney. The UN Women, who is one of our partners, they have agreed to tow our truck all the way from the jungle on the other side of the country back to Freetown. So Hindaloo's dealing with all that, but hopefully it will work out. And I think Hindaloo's heading out soon for McKinney, which is about 50 miles away. And then this evening we will have our big feast. Good evening. I have not checked in since this morning, but I am about to head to bed and just wanted to do a little quick check-in here. So far today, we did not do a whole lot. This afternoon, I went for a walk with Yusuf around Kamakwie, and it was really cool just seeing, you know, all the areas that he used to live and the way that the village used to look. And being that he is a storyteller, I feel like anytime I listen to him talk, I really have a very vivid image painted in my mind of what he's conveying to me, and just like such a fascinating man to be around. And so I'm just so super grateful that through this experience I've had the opportunity not only to meet him, but then also to spend some time with him in his hometown. Super cool experience. And it's interesting sometimes how life puts people in at moments where you don't realize that you need them, but in hindsight you're like, wow, that was the most perfect timing ever. And giving the work that he does all across the world, I think there is no better time for someone like Yusuf to enter into my life and begin building that relationship that hopefully I can continue moving forward, and even visit him out in the UK and continue visiting him here in Sierra Leone. He also runs a festival that happens every year, which I will link right up here, the video to. I want to go to it super bad. I've heard great things, and in our conversations, he has some incredible ideas for this community of Kamakwie that could do great things for the future. So with that being said, I'm going to head to bed. Tomorrow we are heading out. We're not sure exactly how far we're heading out or what time, but with that being said, we are continuing on our way, and we have about 160 miles left, and the next big city we are heading to is Port Loko. So I will see you in the morning for day 28.